Shama's younger brother, Bapaji, he was staying near Savliwell. Once his wife was attacked with bubonic plague. She had high fever and two bubons in her groins. Bapaji rushed to Shama at Shirdi and asked him to come and help. Shama was frightened, but according to his custom, he went to Baba, prostrated himself before him to invoke his aid by requesting him to cure the case. He also asked his permission to go to his brother's house. Then Baba said, "Don't go there at this late hour. Send a Dodi. Why care for the fever and bubons? God is our father. She will be all right easily. Do not go now. Go there in the morning and return immediately." Shama had full faith in Baba's Udi. It was sent with Babaji. It was applied on the bubons and some of it was mixed with water given to patient to drink. No sooner was it taken in, perspiration set in profusely. The fever abated and the patient had sound sleep. Next morning, Babaji was surprised to see his wife all right, with no fever and no bubons. When Shama went there next morning with Baba's permission, he was also surprised to see her in the kitchen preparing tea. On questioning his brother, he learned that Baba's Udi cured completely in one night. Then Shama realized the significance of Baba's words. Go there in the morning and return immediately. After taking tea, Shama returned and after saluting Baba, he said, "Deva, what is this play of yours? You first raise a storm and make us restless, and then calm it down and comfort us." Baba replied, "You see, mysterious is the path of action. Though I do nothing, they hold me responsible for the actions which take place on account of destiny. I am only their witness. The Lord is the sole doer and inspirer. He is so merciful. Neither I am God nor a master. I am his obedient servant and remember him constantly. He who casts aside his egoism and thanks him, and he who trusts him entirely, will have his shackles removed and will obtain liberation." So this is the story from the Sai Satcharitra, chapter number 34. In this story, one will realize how faithful Shama was. He was really devoted to Baba. His own sister was not well, and yet he was not under his emotions. He still was under Baba's devotion. In the war of emotion and devotion, devotion won in his case. Because he did not run immediately to his sister. First, he went to the masjid. He informed Baba and also he took permission of whether he should go to his brother's house to see his sister-in-law. So one can see over here is how obedient he was. Unless like us, we all fall in the trap of emotions. We never keep Baba first. It's always our relations, and then it is Baba. But in case of Shama, it was not his brother and his sister-in-law. It was Baba. Another thing that you can see from this story of Baba is Shama not only did he ask permission from Baba, but also fully believed in Baba when Baba said not to go right away. Baba told him to visit his sister in law's place in the morning, and that too, he asked him to return immediately. If one was in his shoes, one would be really confused like what one is supposed to do. On one end, there is my relations, on the other end, there is my Baba to whom I'm devoted to. Whom should I choose? There would have been a choice. But in his case, there was no choice. There was no confusion. It was only Baba's rule for him. Whatever he said was followed. If he said, do not go now, then okay. Even if my sister-in-law is unwell, and even if my brother needed me right away, I will still not go because Baba has not allowed me to go. And I will follow him. So such a Shama, the beloved devotee of Baba. How many of us can do this? Only love can do this. There can be no choice there. There we can see only one thing. And that is following Baba, following his orders. The faith that he had in Baba was so complete that he didn't need anything else to prove that faith. His act proved it. The way he behaved proved it. And that's the only thing, that's the only foolproof method to measure your faith. How you behave when you have choices in front of you. How you choose one thing over the other. How you tend to choose other things over Baba will show you how much faith you have in him. Later on, when he followed Baba's order. And he did go the next morning to his brother's place. He was surprised to see his sister in law fully well, and he couldn't even imagine that he would get a cup of tea from her hand. Somewhere, he definitely knew the Udi that he had sent with his brother had definitely done the work. And the words of Baba, "Go there in the morning and return immediately," proved to be true. After returning, the way he questions Baba in a playful way, that can be done only if you have that kind of faith. Otherwise, you cannot have the right to ask such a question to Baba. And therefore, he gets an appropriate answer for his question. His question: Deva, what is this play of yours? You first raise a storm and make us restless, and then calm it down and comfort us. This is a question which is asked by someone who has given himself completely to Baba. And this question is actually for all of us who thinks that everything is done by Baba, or who thinks that something is done to us to test us. When we read Baba's reply, one can see that he has no ownership for whatever happens in our life. Here, Baba points out to that mind which has picked up things which does not belong to it. And hence it has got trapped in its own destiny. And therefore, Baba says that he is only a witness to such a mind, which has forgotten to whom he belongs to. And hence, it has got various choices in front of it. And it chooses one thing over the other. And in those choices, it prefers to keep even the choice of devotion so that it can liberally choose anything, even in the matters of choice between devotion and other things. So Baba says, one who has cast aside his egoism and thanks him, and he who trusts him entirely, will have his shackles removed and will obtain liberation. Or only the faith can bring down that ego. The ego that pulls you away from him. The ego that has arisen out of false beliefs. The ego that has left you alone. The ego that has made you see things which were not yours. The ego has stamped on you. It has almost killed you. But yet, you want to be with it. Because you don't have faith in something that is beyond it. You have created this world and the ego. You have created, and only you can destroy it. For that, the trust that you have in your master, the love that you have towards him, can make you understand how you have been thrown to the other end, and how someone who was yours was taken away from you under the pretext of freedom to choose. You have been betrayed. You have been betrayed. You have been cheated by showing you that things belong to you. You have been shown how the world can get you the pleasure and how, if you separate from the world that you have created, you will be lonely. Which is completely false. Because you will never be able to be in complete freedom if you forget the one that has made you, that has given you the power to make your choices. That has led you here to experience the world that you have created. And hence, this story will remind you again and again to be careful of the choices that you make in your life.